Hey guys, welcome back. This is my 1991 MR2 Turbo, and today we're going to be taking a closer look and making a list of things that we need to get sorted out. So let's get stuck in. Okay, starting at the front of the car. These coolant bypass pipes which run under the car, they're an absolute pain when it comes to trying to get the battery in and out, combined with an insanely large battery terminal on the negative, especially when the front plastic is in, which I do have. It's just been removed for now. So yeah, that's two things straight away that I'm going to have to fix. Only a little thing, but the bonnet prop, I think that should have a rubber grommet type thing in, but that's just metal scraping on metal. See a little bit of rusters getting in there, so we'll take care of that. And now I've just torqued up, I've got to get the battery back in. Broke my wrench. That's brought us on nicely to another problem. No key in the ignition. Radio's on, so that's obviously wired in wrong. So that's something to look at. And then when I turn it off, the noise at the back. Down here, I think that should be an electric aerial, so I don't know if that's like a motor for that that's going, but nothing's happening, so another thing. So while we're at the front, I'm going to have to look at the front brake calipers. When I was driving the car home after buying it, the brakes didn't feel quite right to me. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but kind of felt like I was driving in extremely wet, slippery conditions, even though the roads were perfectly dry. So when I got home, I did look at the rear ones first, and the calipers were absolutely seized. I mean, I could not wind them in, I could not wind them out. Even the handbrake mechanism, I was absolutely whacking it with a hammer and it would not move. So I had to strip both of them down and completely rebuild them. The brake pads had fallen apart in my hand when I'd removed them. I was a bit surprised considering it only had an MOT about 2 months prior, but you know, that's life, I guess. So I don't see any reason why the front brakes are going to be in any better condition. So we're definitely going to have to take a look at them and repaint them. So I've done I did the back ones in black when I rebuilt them. That's simple, but the screen wash was just full of water and algae, depending on where you're from, and that's just full of, I don't know if you probably can't see down there, it's absolutely full of crap. So probably just gonna have to take this out and give it a really good flush out. Good news, the pop-up headlights work, he says. There we go. Both work. Wonderful. Someone's done the dash lights in blue. There seems to be a bit of a blue and red theme going on with this car. I don't think I quite like it, so I might just change them to, you know, like some super bright white ones or something. The interior isn't too bad for how old it is. I think I'm not too sure about the radio though, so I might replace that at some point, but that's not exactly essential. It does appear that the tachometer isn't quite working. It doesn't seem to. It does move up and down, but it seems incredibly low at idle. I do seem to remember reading a while ago there might be a resistor or something in there which can cause problems if it goes. So I have to have that out and take a look. T-tops are prone to leaking. This one doesn't actually seem too bad. I mean, if I blast it with a pressure washer, some water will get through and run down the inside of the window, but you know, if you're sitting in it when it rains and stuff, nothing seems to be getting in. Although if you do look at it very closely, let's have a zoom. It's starting to perish, and this side it seems like someone has run a bead of silicone along it, so might have to replace the rubber. And this is a bit concerning. The rear window fitment seems to be off, and surely that should come up here. It's exactly the same on the other side, so I'm not sure if it's a T-top thing, because I've seen, you know, ones with a sunroof or tin tops where it's just flush. So if anyone knows, please let me know. Otherwise, that's something to address, as well as the bad tint that's coming away. The exhaust fitment on one side is really bad. I don't know if this has got come out on camera. Oh, there we go. It's got massive gap there, hitting the bumper there and coming off there. It's like cheap eBay stainless exhaust from what I remember from the previous owner. So I might look at replacing that. It seems to be a cheap knockoff of a Jap Speed exhaust. It doesn't really look very good, but it doesn't look too bad, to be honest. It's more how it sounds. Makes the car sound a little bit booty for my liking. So might look at getting that changed. If you saw the last video, you'd see that the boot lid seemed to have filled up with water. I might have made the problem worse because I was obviously pressure washing everything just to clean most of the muck off it, but it found its way in somewhere, and probably under the spoiler, but you know, rainwater will run that way anyway, so might just have to look at that. Don't want water getting inside and rusting it from inside out. In the engine bay, let's see what we can see. I'm definitely going to have to evict a few spiders by the looks of it. Cobwebs everywhere. In fact, I might just start that now. Okay, and then to the engine bay. Again with the blue and red theme. It looks on everything. As long as these parts are serving their purpose for now, then that's fine. And my main aim really is to just get it roadworthy and be able to, you know, enjoy it for a little bit. And obviously cosmetic things like that can be done over time. Yeah. So straight away, just for a quick look, there's a bracket that's holding the charge pipe is broke, so we'll have to make one of them. And rather worryingly, I don't know if I can get this on camera, depending on the angle. Look down. Okay, down there. I don't know if I get a good angle. That manifold bolt, focus, isn't even tightened down all the way, so it's certainly not holding that part of the manifold on. So you know, if that's not been done up properly, what else might not be done up properly? That's the question. There's a ground strap there that's just been left unattached, so to find out where that goes. Yeah, the cooling system, when I got the car, was absolutely full of rusty water. You can see it there. Yeah, that just happened. Okay. Add that to the list, find the cap. As I was saying, it was absolutely full of rusty water. I did try my best to flush the system and refill it with coolant, but it didn't matter how many times I did it. Just over and over again, it was just rusty water coming out, just over and over. I'd spent a whole day sort of flushing and bleeding the system and reflushing, and there was just no end to it. This was about the point where I was, you know, getting ready to stop work on the car altogether. So I filled it up with sort of concentrated coolant the best I could and left it. So hopefully I hadn't at least made things worse, but it's definitely going to need a good flush out somehow. Really don't want to pull everything off individually and, you know, clean it out one thing at a time, but you know, if I have to, I have to. Biggest worry is probably the water jackets in the block. I hope they've not been corroding from the inside, but you know, things happen. We'll see. Do that again. Okay. Yeah, the engine's also got an oil leak from somewhere. It's been mentioned in the last couple of MOTs it's had. I've never personally had it in for an MOT yet. It's been off-road. You know, pretty much since I bought it. So obviously that's one of the first goals, is just to get it up to a standard where it would pass an MOT, so it can legally be driven on the roads. Right, so back to the paint work, which I was trying to get some footage of in the last video. Almost looks like water from distance, but that is actually in the paint, like bubble. There's all these little specks everywhere as well. Looked like it was just like painted in a dusty shed or something. There's let's try my best. I don't know if I can quite get that. It runs in the paint. If you can see that. Yeah, it's like that all around the car. This one will be very hard to get. That's weird. There's weird etching everywhere. almost looks like you know, like bird poo etching, but it's literally everywhere and sort of random places where you don't even think a bird could get to. So I'm wondering if that was some sort of, maybe a reaction to some body filler or something underneath when they painted it. I'll certainly look at that a bit deeper later on. So I think a good place to start engine-wise would just be to do a quick compression test, just to make sure I've got good compression, and obviously I can decide what to do from there. I'm just going to have to do my research and find out where the fuel pump relay is, get that out, and I'll start the test. Okay, that threw me for a second. There weren't one that was actually marked up for fuel pump relay, but apparently removing this chap will get it out. Should have the same effect. There we go. Oh, that was really in there. Just in case anyone else is doing it, there's two little like tabs that stick out on the bottom which holds it in place. Hopefully now that means the engine will crank but not start. Excellent. Okay, 180 PSI, not bad. $180. $175. That's good compression on all cylinders, so that's good news. Not sure exactly what PSI I'm supposed to be looking for, but the fact they're all even is a good indicator that everything's fine. Maybe this engine ain't as bad as it looks. Never hurts to check the oil. I did do an oil change as soon as I got the car, so it might be old oil that's not well used. This is just an awkward place to put the dipstick. There we go. About a quarter. It is leaking, albeit very slowly considering I filled it 2 years ago. Question is, where is the leak coming from? I've got a little bit of corrosion along the pinch weld. I don't really quite know what's going on at the end here either. It's like a massive chunk of painters. Well, it's not even paint. don't know if that's been body filled and, you know, a huge piece has just broken off or what. But we'll have to look at that closer. It's all, it feels reasonably solid most of the way along. It's just paint flaking off, so just have to grind that back to bare metal and, you know, see what we're left with. You know, similar sort of story up the other end. It's like I couldn't be bothered to bend down far enough just to do the paint job properly. There we go. I don't know if you'll see it from this angle. I might have to lift the car up. Yeah, I'll lift the car up, but you can sort of see how badly the oil's leaking out of the engine from here. I'll lift the car up and we'll see if we can get closer. Okay, well, so far underneath it just looks like areas of surface rust. Not sure what this connector's supposed to be. I'll assume it may be part of the AC system that was cut out. There's a cut hard line there. There's another. Oh, wait, there we go. There's another little one there that goes up. Yeah, that looks like it's part of the AC system. So I'm not exactly sure how much of it was cut out, but everything else looks pretty good up the front end. Just a lot of surface rust, really. See sway bar and everything. Could just do with a wire wheel and a bit of paint or something just to protect it, but nothing alarming up here so far. Well, that's typical when I crawl under the car with my torch, it dies, so I have to use my phone light. Well, rust is probably not going to be a problem around here because everything's covered in a layer of oil. Oil's dripping off the sump. It looks like it's coming all the way up from behind the block somewhere. I don't know if you can see any of this. There's also oil running all along the return, the oil feed to the turbo, all the way up to the top. So whether or not that's just not on properly, I don't know. Something to look at. But everything else wise, just surface rust. Nothing to be too alarmed about. Filthy as well, as you probably would expect. And probably still a load of spiders under here somewhere. So that was a nice consistent pressure across all the cylinders, so I'm quite happy that things like the head gasket and that are fine in this engine, which is a bit of a surprise considering the state that it looks, but there we go. So now I've just got this straight from China. It's a little smoke machine, so I'm just going to test the air system, see if we've got any leaks. That just connects to a battery. I've got one down the side of the car, otherwise I could have used a hot cable to the engine bay, but it's just more convenient. Seems I've got an extra battery lying about. So all I have to do is connect my air compressor up to it. A little bit of oil in. It says you can use baby oil, so I've picked some up from the supermarket. And we'll see how it works, if it works. So let's get going. Right. So I've connected a cone adapter into the main air intake. So I'll connect the machine up to that and we'll see if we've got any smoke. See if we get any smoke out of this first. Come on, China. Oh, there we go. the blow-off valve. Tempted just to block that off and see if that'll force it anywhere else. Should that even be coming out of that? No. Never done a smoke test before, so this is all new to me. I'm just going to block off the trumpet. Let's see if sorry about that. Okay, so I was saying I've never actually done this before, so this is all new to me. I'm just going to try and block off the trumpet if I can, just to see if I'll allow the smoke to go in a different direction and come out somewhere else. Back on again. That didn't work very well at all. It's still just leaking out of the blow-off valve trumpet. I can't see any air coming from anywhere else. Just a little bit of blowback from the air intake. So yeah, surprisingly, it looks like the air system's got no holes in. Brilliant. Okay, let's make a list of what we've got so far. So we have coolant pipes, those battery terminals, you know, only little, but that bonnet prop was is annoying me. The wiring for the radio and God knows what else. Wiring. Obviously the electric aerial and that will do with that. I mean, this isn't a fully comprehensive list. I'll probably start looking at these things, and other jobs will stem from them the way that does. We've got front brakes we need to look at. So that'll lead to a complete come on, Steve, numbers. You know, complete bleed of the brake system and that. Screen wash system needs cleaning out. Clean. Yeah, the tachometer rather. Got to look at that, and the lights. Change them out while I'm doing it. What else did we have? T-top seals. Might be wise to maybe just to get the carpet out at some point. I know they're not leaking too badly now, but who knows if they did in the past and a load of water's got in there. Underneath the what's the word? The undercoat and all seems intact underneath, but it's not to say there hasn't been any rust from the top if the carpet's been getting wet at some point in its life. Those side windows. The more I look at them, the more they're not right. What that was. Right. What else did we have? Exhaust fitment. Water in the boot lid, or trunk lid if you're in America. Charge pipe back bracket. That should be an easy one. Cooling system flush, yes. Come on, Steve. Better than that. So I can't talk and writing at the same time is new for me. Sorry. System. That's how flush. Obviously, I'm not a professional mechanic, professional fabricator, or an English teacher. Paintwork. It's just rubbish. I don't know what to do about that. That's probably going to be a big one. All the rust. It's only surface rust in most places, but and oil leak. Bottom of that. Well, it's a few things to be getting on with. So there we go, folks, that's my list. It's probably by no means a complete list. I'm sure as I start trying to tick things off it, more things will be added to it. But it's a good starting off point. I'm really happy about the engine. That was a good compression test. It was only a cheap tester, so those numbers might not be quite right, but it was consistent across the board, so that's the most important thing. So it doesn't look like there's any blown head gaskets or worn piston rings. Just a bit unsure at the moment what to do about that oil leak. I don't think I picked it up exceptionally well on camera, but there is just literally oil everywhere on the back of the engine block. So do I just try and crawl under the car and clean it up and see if I can pinpoint where it comes from, or should I just bite the bullet and drop the engine down? At least I can see everything clearly there. And you know, if there's one loose nut on the exhaust manifold, are there loose nuts anywhere else? That'll certainly make it easier to find if that is the case. That might even be what's causing the oil leak somewhere, who knows? But then if the engine's out of the car, do I then do a timing kit? Do I do the clutch? I mean, suddenly then the list grows even more. What would you do if you were me? Let me know in the comments below. But until next time, take care.